working now. Oh, we are good. All right. Hi, everybody. Today we are playing something a little bit different. Thank you for anyone who tunes in. And today we are running Is It Delver, a deck that is very near and dear to my heart, as well as the heart of Richie Thompson, who has piloted my cards to multiple top eights at SCG Classics. This is a list pretty similar to what you'd find in just stock Blue Red Delver lists, with the exception of a few cards. Risk factors, mission briefing. Oh no, what is the card that is... There's one card in here that's not supposed to be in the main. There's supposed to be one more Price of Progress, but I don't see what's in here instead of it. Oh, it's a Grim Lavamancer. Of course it's a Grim Lavamancer. I hate the card Grim Lavamancer. So, the point of this deck is to use a bunch of prowess triggers off of your burden spells to aggressively put your opponent to no life. It's pretty straightforward. Out of the side, we have answers for... in the form of Vapor Snag, that's a way of dealing with reanimator targets, as well as just merit leeches. But we'll see what's happening. While we are waiting to begin, I'd like to also give a shout out to Jeremy Burton, Clever MTG, who will be streaming tomorrow night. I'm going to keep this hand. This hand is fine. And then also Mike Kekich, who's going to be streaming on Thursday. I believe he will be streaming something to do with the new set. I don't actually know. You may see Josh streaming something tomorrow. I don't know what. Other than that, on Friday we have Tilk, as always, just being pretty. Yeah, that's about it. Well, that sucks. Okay. So I guess the plan here is draw another Delver. Good hustle, everybody. Show them how we top deck. Very, very powerful way. So, if we don't flip this, we fetch. We should be fine, even if we don't. We get a land. Yes. So here we get to just beat in. Now we're in a good spot because Mission Briefing lets us cast Daze from our graveyard. It's a card that lets you flip. It lets you do things that we normally wouldn't be able to. Well, first let's float blue. Cast targeting the Baleful Strix. Ooh, he let us just counter it. That's concerning. Or... I mean, when in Rome. So this is the beauty of Blue Red Delver, is that it is so aggressive. For anyone who's played Pauper, you know that Blue Red Delver is one of the de facto best decks. And that's for a very good reason. Delver is an undercosted threat. Shouldn't work. Blue should not get a 1-drop 3/2. Like, we get free wins like that. Now, out of side, what he's playing, we have to be much more careful with how we side here, but... So Vapor Snag is not actually good here. What is good here is Price of Progress. Risk factors are pretty nuts. Force of Will is meh. It doesn't actually let us just win. Now the problem is we don't know whether he's on Bug or if he's on Grixis. He's on one of the two, which tells us a whole lot of nothing. Crater Maker it's a very solid card. It lets us get rid of things like Pithing Needle targeting our Grim Lavamancer. Say it with me, everybody. Okay. First off, Mr. Burton, what's up? Second of all, you're wrong. You don't believe hard enough. If you did, you would understand that it's actually really, really good. I think I want Soulscar Mages here. Storm Chaser is causing... Why not just cast what? I'm very confused. What do you mean? So we have turn 1 counter. We have... Against Bug or Grixis, this actually should be fine. Because we have Pyroblast to deal with things. Okay, so he's already playing around Price of Progress. Price of Progress is an absolute killer against these decks. And then we're just going to pass. What do you want me to cast, Jeremy? I'm going to be casting the Risk Factor. It's going to win me this game. Guarantee it. Okay, he's on Grixis. Counter target spell. We don't want him drawing cards. Especially not ones attached to, like, bodies that are annoying. Gross. Okay. We're just gonna play a land and pass. We're pretty much looking to just choke him on whatever he's trying to do here. 5 in hand. No, that's fine. Ideally, he tries to Hymn to Tarakas, and then we get to Spell Pierce that. Potentially get to just Risk Factor during his main phase. Yeah, try that. Mana advantage. That's one of the reasons Spell Pierce is so good. It lets you counter things that cost more than what an opponent has. When your opponent has like a bunch of mana invested in something, you just get to punish them on it. So let's run out a Delta and play a Delver just off of blue. We're not... I don't need to do anything during my draw phase. Gross. Okay. Well, that sucks. I should have brought out Dazes on this side of the matchup. Which was a misplay on my part, but that's fine. Because... well, we're still in a pretty good spot. Yeah, much less good spot. So let's get an island. Let's get a Volk. red, blue, blue. Okay. See, he's already pretty much dead. We did it. He can't fetch for another... Sure, that's fine. Okay. Baleful Strix, that's still good. We'll discard the Tarn. We're just going to keep risk factoring. Ideally, we hit a Reveler sometime soon. Because at this rate, he's just losing enough life quickly enough that I'm not particularly concerned. Five in hand? Okay, that's fine. Delver is not a good hit here. Need some Storm Chasers, I guess. Here's where Fire Blast would be really helpful. I don't know how to cut Fire Blast from this list. Burn spell. Okay. Here's where... Let's see. If we can just get him to fetch. Oh, yeah, we're fine. So here's where this is a game of chicken. If he doesn't have anything to counter price progress, he has to fetch twice, goes to 7, takes 4, goes to 3, then we can bolt him. See? This is the beauty of Blue-Red Delver. It's pretty easy. It's a very beginner-friendly deck. Oh. Hey, 2 of you? I love you guys. Thanks. Blue-Red is a very beginner-friendly deck. It's what I started in Legacy with, after having played in a bunch of proxy tournaments using Grixis Pyro, which used Cabal Therapy, Young Pyromancer, Dig Through Time, and Gitaxian Probe. So, 2 cards that are very, very banned. Another card that sees play in what I still think is probably one of the best decks, Grixis Delver. And yeah, this is a fun deck. I do not like the fact that this list does not include a Thunderous Wrath or a Fire Blast, but those can be fixed. my personal list is, I think, 3 cards different than this. Instead of an... Let's see, what is the difference? Okay, my sideboard is exactly the same. My main board is, I think, 2 cards different. Yes, I would like to play first. No, I'd really like to keep this hand. Okay. Let's start by fetching a Volk. Now, we never actually play the Scalding Tarns except when we have to, because they can fetch us both islands and mountains. Is he going to be on burn? Okay, he's on lands. This is a weird one, folks. Because lands actually is... No. Lands is actually a decent matchup. Thanks to the pretty large abundance of just burn spells, as well as basics. They can try wastelanding us out. It's not particularly effective. Like, there's nothing we can actually do here. I know! It's not like we spent how many hours, Josh? Like, answer me that. How many hours? A lot. It was a lot. Josh and I spent a lot of time testing Risk Factor and Legacy. We were... I don't think... Would you say we were ever disappointed with how it performed? No. Okay. Main phase. Island. Delver. During our upkeep, we'll brainstorm. Or, well, we can't actually afford to brainstorm. Yes. I would like to grab an island. Then we will pay that blue. We will attack. We'll fetch, grab a mountain, chain lightning him. See, guys, Legacy isn't so hard. You just have to play against lands while you're on anti-lands. Let's pay... Yes. So, who is not super swell here? So, we can get another mountain, cast a Swift Spear, swing for 5. I don't know actually how good Delver is here. And for that matter, I don't actually know how good a second Swift Spear is here, because both of them require a higher, like, color density than we're really gonna have with just the rest of this game. Both are very, like, greedy cards. And so... that's fine. So let's see, what do you do here? You need to somehow stop. So we have 8 damage here because we have a bolt, we have a bug, we have the Swift Spear. And so we just swing in. Now, we aren't... if he, for instance, has, like, a life from the loam, he's gonna be a very unhappy camper. Because these 2 lands that he has can't actually produce mana. That's unfortunate. I love when the all, like, lands deck gets screwed on mana. Is it worth just playing another Delver? Do I just want to brainstorm? So, let's see. 3, 4, 5. This is a tough one. I think we're gonna just brainstorm. And then... hello. That feels pretty okay. So this is why lands can't actually beat us. Deals damage to each player equal to twice the number of non-basic lands they control. I'd like you to observe, lands has 4 non-basic lands in play. It's, free wins are a burden, but I shall live. If he doesn't have a Glacial Chasm, I guess that is the one way he ends up not losing, is if he has a Glacial Chasm. Ghost Quarter, Tranquil Thicket, and Forest. Okay. So we aren't going to end up paying. We will end up just... we should be fine here, actually, because we're just going to price him. Because he doesn't have any green mana. If he... I think here he has... yeah, he has to cycle the Thicket. Much skill. Okay, so let's see. We need surgicals. We need vapor snag. Spell pierce is alright. More spell pierce. Pithing needle is pretty important. Yeah, that one's not particularly good. Alpine Moon. Okay, let's sort by CMC. He's going to be going first, so Daze is bad. Daze is also pretty bad because he's on lands, which is a deck that recurs its, lands using Life from the Loam. Gosh, who'd have thunk? Grim Lavamancer is pretty bad because Grim Lavamancer requires a lot more mana to activate than we're probably going to have. 3 more cuts? I don't want to cut any spell pierces. Alpine Moon is fine because it ends up letting us turn off Dark Depths. Risk factor might be a little too slow for this matchup. We want Storm Chasers because they don't die to 1 Punishing Fire, and that is honestly just about it, but that's really all we want them for. We need both Vapor Snags. No, we don't want to cut a Force. We'll cut a Reveler because the deck runs crop rotation, it means he can sacrifice a forest and be able to get out a Bojuka Bog and eat our graveyard, and then, well, Bedlam Reveler suddenly costs 8, and that's pretty unfortunate. We can have a Swift Spear, a Bolt. I think we keep this because if we get a second land, we just win. Or, well, we should. Let go. Yeah. Anyway, so Lands is one of the more popular Legacy decks. It recently sort of fell off. It's mostly because Turbo Depths is faster lands. Oops. Chain Lightning you. We want to leave up mana because that way we can Lightning Bolt if he tries to Punishing Fire. We can also just have some extra mana up. Okay. Very weird. So Delver's pretty useless here, but he is good force bait. perfect world, he ghost quarters us off of the volcanic island. I don't see that being particularly likely. Okay. I feel like I'm being baited. So if he gambles, we get a force. This is a weird one. I don't know actually if we'll win here because that was incorrect timing on my part. Yeah. Let's pitch Delver. Let's go. Let's see how you do. What are you going to do? Actually, is my real question. I'm just curious. We can, if we force pitch the Delver because if we get a land to be able to ponder, we just win. I don't feel like letting him get a loam because then he does just have like an opportunity to win the game. Here we just need a bolt. Please ghost quarter me. That's unfortunate. Hey. Yeah, this is how you beat players who are better than you, because as much as lands can just kill you, it can also just kind of dirtle and suck. On the other hand, Blue-Red Delver, you either have it or you don't. Which makes it a very satisfying deck to win with. Just because you have all of these different things. The damage output is kind of wild. So, other than that, like, the other popular legacy decks right now, Miracles, Blue-Black Shadow, Grixis Delver, Tez is actually on an upswing. Tez is the epic storm, and instead of being a grind, you're like more discard oriented storm. Tez runs Chrome Moxes. Tez runs Rite of Flames, and the primary kill condition instead of Tendrils of Agony is empty the Warrens. So you just make a ton of goblins, and your opponent hopefully dies. Other than that, the biggest news is that Eldrazi is the Chalice of the Void deck of choice, which I'm not thrilled about. It's great when I run Bug or when I run Blue-Red, but if I play something like Miracles or just any sort of grindier control deck that doesn't have access to just really good destruction effects, Eldrazi kind of just beats on their faces really hard. Going second, we have... Actually, this is fine. Well, we'll know if it's fine. Wasteland and Petal. That means... Oh no. Well, this is much, much worse than I thought. He is on a really aggravating Chalice of the Void deck. We're going to get an island. We're going to ponder, and we're going to hope to... Oh, that's so gross. No, because we need to have counter magic up for when he plays a Chalice next turn. Feels really bad. So this is called Steel Stompy. This is Legacy's version of Affinity. And it is a very rough deck to deal with. It's a lot like Eldrazi in that you play Chalice of the Void and you generally just win when you get it on turn 1. Any order, shuffle. I don't necessarily want. So we have a Daze. Question is, are you going to pay the other? No, he is not. That's gonna be pretty unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think we have a chance there after missing land drops. So in this matchup, Smash to Smithereens, Price of Progress, Goblin Crater Maker, Abrade. Vapor Snag is also pretty good. In this case, we are going to cut... Where are you? Because we are going first, we're going to leave the Dazes in. We don't want risk factors, because even though risk factor can be really good, the floor on it here is really, really, really low. Because they're a Chalice deck, they're trying... Actually, we don't want that. They don't want the game to be prolonged much, if at all. Lavamancer is not fine because their threats outscale pretty fast. Now here's where we get into cutting, doing hard cuts. I think, no, because they're a Chalice deck. Okay, we can definitely cut we can cut Revelers because, well, Reveler is for a late game, and we don't generally get a late game here. Next turn we have 2 power on board, and we have, so we can force. I'm betting he was thinking we were on not the deck we ended up playing. Because, well, most people don't actually remember that Blue-Red Delver is a deck. So we are going to counter that. We obviously want our Swift Spear triggered, even though it's not super relevant here. So we can end up playing I think we just want to rush out a Storm Chaser. Because if we can end up getting both of these in, our clock becomes way faster. We have no plays, so we're just going to F6. We'll F6 again, because we either win or we don't. It's Blue-Red Delver. Live fast, die young. That might have been a bit more cynical than it needed to be. So, good news is, we have a new set right around the corner. Now, there aren't actually a lot of implications for Legacy, aside from Lavinia. And the biggest thing Lavinia does is potentially get people some hefty penalties. So let's see, we bolt. I think actually here we just want to force him to do something. So that's 5 damage, 7, 9, 10. And then he can't use the Ancient Tomb. Because he didn't block for whatever reason. That's fine with me. Okay, so he did sack it. I don't see him having any way out here. And this is... Steel Stompy is actually one of my favorite decks to play with. Because... Yeah, that's... chill. So he can equip the Jitte. He gains potentially 5 life. So 1 burn spell off. But he can't afford to attack because if he does, he'll just die. Well, he has to attack, actually. Never mind. He could gun down Swift's... No, he can't. He just has to have life to gain. Yep. Pretty bad position, my dude. Any cantrip, and I think we win. Yeah. Mission briefing. So he gains life. He can activate the Urza's factory. And then... do we just bolt him? Yep, this is what we do. We do the lightning bolts, and then we do the dead. Dabs. Okay. Now that we no longer have the advantage of him having no idea what we're playing, this matchup gets a little different. Daze suddenly has to go. We can bring in these again, because... okay, so we have to bring in Pithing Needle. As much as it disgusts me to say. Well, there are enough cards in here that are spell pierceable that it's almost relevant. Yeah, I think we just run with that. So this is where this is a testamental, because if he has a chalice on one, we lose. We have to keep that. Put on bottom. Well, let's see. Do you have the chalice on one? He does. That's really crappy. But there are some ways out. We have Crater Maker, we have a Braid, and we have Smash to Smithereens. None of which are particularly impressive cards, but they stop us from losing. Such is the life of Burn when playing against Chalice. I think if we do get a smash, though, I think we win. Because without that Chalice in play, we have 2 pieces of tempo that we can deploy along with a creature. Which honestly might be enough just to win even through a Chalice. Should we get our... Well, okay, so let's see. Oh, shit. Never mind, we have to destroy that if we get smashed to smithereens. Now we're running these into Chalice just because we're hoping that somehow we can end up racing. We're more than likely not going to be able to race, but have to give it the good old college try. That's really bad. Okay, we just lose that one. Normally, any of the Ancient Tomb decks are favorable matchups, but Steel Stompy is hard because, well, a Vault Scourge with +1/+1 counters is kind of rough to deal with. But let's take a look at Ravnica spoilers. Oh, never mind. Let's not. Let's say we did. We'll take a look at those later. Okay, we will definitely be going first. And we are definitely keeping that. Because turn 1 we get a Swift Spear. With a Daze backup, we have a Vapor Snag. We have all the interaction we actually need to win. And it's not even past my bedtime. Okay. So let's just run out. Oh no. I clicked through combat. Punt count 1. Am I playing against Nickfit? Oh. Okay, so guys, this is a really cool deck that I wanted to be able to play, but I literally can't afford to play. It's Bug Land still, my guess is. I don't actually know. It might not. Well, actually, we can just F6 because we don't have anything we can play. Yes. So Bug Land still. It's sorry, Bug Loam still. It uses life from the loam. It uses standstill. Okay. Curious as to what he's going to play. No, I do not. If I just bounce... Well, let's just attack with Swift Spear. This is a really weird matchup. I mean, I'm happy that I got it, because weird matchups are my favorite thing in Legacy. Okay. Do I want to Vapor Snag that Dryad Arbor? It could... Actually, it's probably just Aggro Loam. That's disappointing, but that's okay. No, I don't want to reveal it, but do I want to draw it? Yeah, I think so, actually. So, for anyone who knows him, Jeff, who works at Pando, actually used to play Aggro Loam. I know that was missequenced, but I needed to be able to determine whether or not he was going to block. I was hoping to be able to punish him for it, and I screwed up my clicks. So hopefully we end up getting another land. Not another land. Hopefully we get anything but another land. If we get... Savannah, Volraths, yeah, that's fine. Aggro Loam is a weird deck, because he's going to start recurring things, I believe. Okay, that is completely fine. Okay, come on, flip. Yes. Let's put that Bedlam Reveler away. We're more than likely going to cast both Price and the Risk Factor between the next 2 turns. Probably Risk Factor during his end step, and then Price Risk during our turn. That's annoying. So this Price Progress does 6. Yeah, it's on top of Library. That's fine. So Aggro Loam is... A patrician's deck for a patrician's format. That is to say, needlessly expensive. But definitely nice looking. The deck is resistant to just about everything. Because you can't really commit fully to just tempoing them out or being really aggressive with killing them, because they have so many different angles they can attack from. Grab a mountain, fetch, grab an island, risk factor, blue. Die. Okay, so out of sideboard, we bring in Smash, we bring in Price, we bring in Crater Maker, we bring in a Braid. We also, well, you can bring in Wasteland. We have to bring in Surgicals because we just lose if they can actually get a Loam going. Fortunately, the addition of Soulscar Mage makes the deck much more solid in matchups like this. Vapor Snag is actually bad here because Agroloam does not run a... well, actually, no, we do need it because... So, it doesn't have any sort of Merit Lage token that it brings out, so no sudden 2020s. But it doesn't need to have just 2020s out of the blue. Knight of the Reliquary, if it is working, will just end the game on its own. Which makes this deck very hard to play against, because Knight of the Reliquary gets out of control really fast, and it turns out there are a lot of lands that do things they shouldn't. Maze of Ith, pretty nutty. You know what's more nutty? Well, being stepped for lethal out of weird deck. Oh, yes, this is a good keep, because wish we had had this hand. The last match, we're just going to wait until he has a response. And then hopefully he just... Oh, cool. Mountain. Swift Spear. This is a tough one because we can... I think we have to just let that resolve. So, they side in Plowshares, they side in Thalias, they side in more Abrupt Decays. I was hoping we would end up being able to catch him blocking and just get him as opposed to having to proactively do something, but we need to be able to avoid the possibility of not being able to respond to a chalice. That's fine. I think we have to go with a Delver here. Skoos would be able to take control of this game because it would just start eating graveyards and then all hell would break loose. Let's get an island. We cast a Storm Chaser. And then during his turn we have a Force up for if he does something. We aren't necessarily in an advantage position right here. Whoa, that looks really good foil. That's really bad draws, to be honest. His Loam, having played with and against Loam quite a bit, I must admit, not necessarily the best draws. Let's brainstorm. See if we can get any sort of... Those are 2/2s, so that's 2. So that's... These will be 4/4s. That'll... Yeah. We just kill him. We can't fetch out non-basics because we just get punished too badly. He needs an Abrupt Decay, but he also needs to be able to hold up like a Plowshares. To be able, he needs to deal with the Swift Spear and the Static Caster. And because Agrolome has Abrupt Decays, and Agrolome doesn't actually have many ways of dealing with things. Kind of like me in everyday life, I don't have too many ways of coping with it. But this is Blue-Red Delver. It's pretty good. Hey, we already are in prizes. We already have a treasure chest booster? Hot. So, if this goes well, might run through another league. 180 play points. Yeah, we could just run through another league. Because these do not take particularly long. Yes, I would like to play first. Keep that. We get to play a Delver and hold up Force. Should have played that off the Volk. That's fine. That trigger on the stack, I want to brainstorm. Don't want to show him Force or Daze, but we can end up showing him a Chain Lightning. we're actually going to play the Soulscar, because we end up getting to just... What happens is a lot more devastating, because the tempo advantage here is way bigger than if we had just countered things at normal junctures. That's another reason Soulscar Mage is pretty good, is that unlike a lot of other cards, Soulscar puts neg1 counters on things, making it way better. There's the smashy boy. Yep. Off to the races. Since we didn't get a land, we're in a pretty good spot, because the Soulscar can block the Mimic if the Mimic gets big. If not, if he doesn't have anything that makes it bigger, we end up getting a Delver trigger. Delver at least acts as a scry, and then we can fetch away if we don't want the card we see on top. He's in a really tough spot. X is 2. Sure. Seven if we draw a burn spell to respond to Ballista. No, that's fine. I'd rather force him to use... That's really crappy. So he ends up... Yeah, I guess... Block 2 damage, takes 6, and then die. Sometimes Eldrazi is like that, but that's okay. That's why we over-sideboard for them. What cards do we not want? Lavamancer, I don't need to see your face. Reveler's kind of lackluster here because, well, Vapor Snag's actually okay. I don't think we need all of these dazes. No, we can just make do with one. We aren't getting any really big tempo leads off of this. appears there's a ton of chalices floating around, though. Holy cow. Yes, I would like to play first. I'm gonna keep that. Get an island, play a Delver. Then we have a daze for whatever he does. We can play Soulscar and then a smash. That is actually fine. No. We end up getting to destroy the chalice. Okay, slower Delver. No, that is not what I wanted to see, but... So here, do we deploy the Storm Chaser? You have 4 cards in hand. So that means he more than likely doesn't actually have a Thought Knot he can play. Which means if we got a mountain, we end up running out of Storm Chaser. Might be able to play another Matter Reshaper, which would be problematic. All in all, this matchup isn't bad, but it's not my favorite in the world. Force. Chain Lightning works as well. Do I smash the Smithereens on his turn or my turn? I think I wait till the end of his turn. So he doesn't have any sort of Reality Smasher. That's good. I don't know what exactly his out is here. Okay, he doesn't have one. Good. That nearly went very poorly. I really hate having to cut days here. I think I'm going to bring in Vapor Snags. don't want to cut any more than 2 days because Eldrazi is tight on mana, and sometimes you can just ruin them. I'm also going to bring in Alpine Moon, as it can slow down one of their more aggressive openings. Huh. We will keep that, and we will leave that on top. Okay. Goblin Crater Maker, one of the nicest things about it is that it can, in fact, just destroy Eldrazi. Which is really good, because previously, if someone just had an Eldrazi out, you're kind of boned. That was out of order. I screwed that up. No. That... So, I forced that. No, I have to be okay with that. So, main, get to play a Crater Maker. Can force, say, a Thought-Knot Seer that comes down. That's fine, we can't take any chip damage. Ouch. That's gonna hurt. Okay. Let's grab an... Let's grab an island. Risk factor, target you. Just let us draw 3. That's all. So I can mission briefing, double chain lightning. Hmm. Weird. I guess I'm just gonna pass. Because that way I can end up blocking. This is a very weird. Oi. So X is 8. So let's say I block there, exile that, or block that, exile. Yeah, okay. Depending on what he does here, how I respond will be different. Just let me draw 3. Okay. Burn spell. Bad draw. It happens. Well, it was fun running through this league with you guys, but it is probably my bedtime. So tomorrow, don't forget to catch Clever MTG. And then Wednesday, Josh may end up streaming. Who knows? Thursday, Mike will end up streaming a box opening of the new set, I believe. And then Friday, pro and future world champion Jake Tilk will be streaming on Arena. I don't know what spicy standard deck he is playing, but I imagine it will be spicy. All right, as always, it's lovely. Have a good night.